how did I get here? It's a long, convoluted story. And I often think about that, not just when I get asked that question, but sometimes I stare out the windows here at the crazy tourist views, the Empire State Building and the beautiful city, and think, how did I end up here? You know what I mean? And hasn't been a straight line, but it's been a fun journey. And I think the shorthand answer is I just trusted an instinct in myself and, applied everything I could to it. I always say you can't guarantee your talent, even though, I'd like to believe in my talent, but there's no guarantee in your talent. But there's guarantee in your work ethic. So I think I tried to sort of put as much effort into fulfilling what I thought was something I was pretty good at, but I didn't want to take that for granted. So I just worked my ass off, and you get places not just by your own tenacity or talent, you get it by also every step of the way, people opening up doors for you and creating opportunities. And whether you walk through that or not, it's up to you. But a lot of very generous, spectacular people from day one, when I sort of chose to try and break into this industry, to even now, opened doors for me. And I'd like to think I pounced on those opportunities, and I tried to pay it back by doing the most with that opportunity, and hopefully opening doors for other people along the way. What was considered for me progress and inspiring and tantalizing was, just getting to this big smoke, which for me was Sydney. And, it sort of elevated that way. I mean, it helped that my mother who was Danish, was a poet and an environmentalist and an artist. So she raised all her children to look beyond the limitations of where we grew up into, where our minds could take us. And we all took that very literally. And for some of us, it took us all around the world. And I'm one of her kids that did that. And if I can build a company with people that I want to be in business with, attract for the clients I want to be in business with, and make the type of work that I believe we should be making, I would trade that for anything. You know what I mean? And I was very lucky that I sort of, I did that. And I called the company, trying to go through, I started this in 2006. I thought, what am I going to call this company? And now going back to that whole boarding school thing. At boarding school, because I was one of 5 boys at boarding school, my mother, being her Scandinavian practical, she sewed laundry tags on all of the son's clothes, from the shirts, undies, socks, all that sort of stuff. And my tag was Droga 5. And my brothers were 4, 3, 2, 1. So that come laundry day, I wouldn't get my brother's pants or their socks or their undies, even though it was pretty obvious which was theirs because mine was always the patches on patches on patches. Again, is another reason I think that it's a great lesson in creativity, because, my whole upbringing was inheriting stuff from my brothers, toys, music, books, clothes, and you take what you get and you try and turn it into something better and more. And that's what creativity is. There's lots of things I like for different reasons. I mean, I always laugh at thinking things that my mother's favorite and my father's favorite, so they carry extra weight. I think my mother's favorite, she was never interested in any of the stuff I did for her in the sort of commercial capitalist sort of thing. She was like, yeah, they're lovely, no, but she would never talk about the stuff I did for the TAP project, which was for UNICEF. She always loved very much, because she, that was the thing that she instilled in all her kids about, And my father, I wasn't raised Jewish, and my mother wasn't Jewish, but my father was Jewish. So I have a real appreciation for the culture. The great schlep that we did for Obama, he just loved so much. You know what I mean? And again, it was one of those things where I liked the fact that we could prove that we could influence the highest office in the world through strategy and creativity and doing something differently, to influencing, philanthropy and raising money and helping people and all that. And that's the beauty of creativity. Like, creativity and strategy, they're liquid. They fit into any container that you want them to. Any honor is at this magnitude it's humbling and it's unbelievable, right? And also the thing that makes an award like this, or an honor is not necessarily about you, but it's about the people getting it alongside you. That sort of really is the thing that makes you realize the value of something. And I'm not just talking, obviously this class of 75 is pretty remarkable. You know what I mean? There's people there that I admire very much. But it's the people who've come before that I'm like, wow, that's crazy. It is an honor. Again, these things matter. Like, you've got to celebrate your wins, and you've got to celebrate in consistency. You know, I mean, consistency is what drives things forward more so than just one-offs. And one-offs can be important as well, but you know, fighting the good fight when it's hard and when things get tough is the most important thing. Because everyone can be pretty great when things are easy. And I think that, you know, the people that drive things forward and leave a trail of not just goodness behind them, hopefully goodness, but also leave a trail of people that are going to take over from them and probably outdo them and do better things than them. I'm like, that's the, you know, the mark of your success is the people that you've worked with and what they become more so than what you've become.